Alright, so coming in hot with day 141, we're going into the nether to start looking out for wither skeleton skulls, and I want to get it out of the way right now since then I won't have to worry about it later. And I also want to renovate some of my nether hub since I want to make it a little bigger, since I'm going to be starting to use it some more coming up. And I gotta make some more room to get like horses through in order to make like a semi inside the nether below bedrock ceiling kind of a highway. And you'll see that while these renovations are taking a while, I do end up, well, I just need to get some materials to make fire resistant potions in order to really be able to fight for the skulls, since the blazes are also going to spawn out there. But I plan on taking all this out to the bridge section of the fortress, and day 142 involves me doing a lot of potion making in order to not really be lit on fire every 2 milliseconds by the blazes. And so this stuff really does come in handy though, but I do start ripping some of these sidings off of the bridges in order to expand it and fill it out some more. And for the next few days in game, this is purely what I'm doing, and it's strictly all prep or to make a bigger surface area for them to spawn on, since I'm going to need at least 3 of them, and I know they don't really drop all that much even with looting 3. And so getting all this set up and running is big time priority, since I want to be like 20 days out from the big event and be short on skulls. That would be really truly awful, but I do press really hard for all these wither skulls, and day 143 is just more combat and building. And
oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. You're gonna see that a lot, is that the skeletons, like the regular skeletons, are just gonna lock onto me and they're gonna walk off the edge. I don't know if there's something wrong with their pathfinding, but just how they dance around with their AI is just weird. But yeah. So going into 143 though, big time bridge expansions. So now we have all the sides off. Now we can push out and make it wider, make these pathways bigger, and increase the surface area for them to spawn on. So a lot of good stuff happening here though. And then going into day 144, I'll let it run for you real quick just yet. Yes, got it. So yes, now we have the first skull out of 3 at least that we need. But it's gonna take a minute just before I get the next one, so I will say though, getting the first one did feel really good. So finally knowing that I wasn't wrong and I was doing the right thing was kind of nice. So I don't typically farm for skulls, since I honestly don't ever really go for beacons, but I mean, with recording a hundreds day series for YouTube and it comes to Minecraft, you kind of have to, right? Kind of have to do everything the game has to offer, right? So what I plan to do with the beacons though, whenever I get them finally, is that I want to see if I can go with some mining haste on it, and then I'm gonna probably dig out a whole chunk with it and see where it kind of go with that. And so yeah, I got an interesting idea I want to do for the color scheme, but I just don't know about getting the glass for it. But I don't know, big things are yet to come, I am sure. But day 145 is just more combat, that's all it is. Kind of take a temporary stop to expanding out the platform, but eventually I have to get back to it because people stop spawning, and so I need to unload and reload some chunks. Get Mob City spawn in order to let Mobcat fill up with more skeletons, or wither skeletons. But gotta say, this fire resistant potion does kind of come in clutch. And I end up mining out the underneath part of the fortress some, but it's all in good fun. You know, gotta get some more in order to keep pumping out more platform. And I know that doing it through nether rack into nether brick would be a little easier, but it's also gonna consume time. And I think I just need to speed up the process and shorten as much time as I can and try to push for it faster. But going into day 146 here, I just end up killing a lot of blaze. That's what mostly spawns. I do end up actually getting a lot of blaze rods though throughout all of this. I end up getting something like a stack and a half or 2 stacks worth, something like that. And it's kind of crazy because I'm pretty sure I could have had like 5 if I wouldn't have killed so many blazes off the edge of the platform. But hey, what can you do? And I ended up doubling up my brewing stands in order to brew potions at twice the rate. So I don't really know how I got a mundane potion, but I mean, whatever, it's fine, right? It's fine. So, and that other sound you heard there was just the furnaces burning all of the netherrack that they could, because I did collect some netherrack in order to open up this space some more, and I'm trying to burn it back into another brick, because the more materials I can have to build out, the better. And so here I do end up getting some more skulls finally. It's been a few days since the first one, but hey, it starts paying dividends here going into day 147. It's primarily a combat day, and the next 2 days are also going to be primary combat days, just hunting for more skulls, seeing how many I can get, and if I can stay alive and not run out of potions again. But see, finally there, I finally have 6 skulls, so that means I can spawn 2. So where to take them at, that's the question. I feel like cheesing it in the end, but I kind of want to do it underground in the overworld and then just hope for the best. But that being said, we'll have to wait and see what happens. So I think I should play it safe and go into the end, but if you think I should do it different, let me know and then I'll do it different. But day 149 has me doing some more enchanting on my tridents, and you see now I finally get mending and unbreaking onto my electric fork. Yeah, it's not a very original name, but I mean, I'm fine with it. So yeah, the electric fork finally. But here I do kind of attempt to fly with the elytra. I'm not really too used to the elytra, but I mean, hey, I'm doing what I can, right? So, though, looking at the base, it's really nice, not gonna lie. So, seeing everything from up top is just awesome, dude. Going into day 150 though, we do have to do some farming though, and I kind of AFK'd on the rest of day 149, but finally we do try to collect the last bit of tridents out of it before I end up trying to dismantle it and turn it into a creeper farm. And honestly, I think this is the right move. And here I finally get Riptide on my trident. And gotta say, it's kinda awesome. I really love Riptide. I don't know how I had missed out on Riptide on tridents before. This is genuinely awesome. Being able to go so high up for absolutely nothing is truly amazing. So look at that. But here, going into day 151, I want to look out for some sponges because I want to do a big build / renovation later on. And here, I'm trying to see how high I can go. Mainly because it's raining, and it's just the first time I've ever had Riptide on a Trident for myself. Like, ever, actually, throughout any time I've played the game. And so, going super high up to like 340 blocks or so. Or rather, I think it's 340. No, 360. 360 blocks is when it turns into snow. So, going up that high is kind of incredible, but you know, I gotta find some sponges though. And my big plan for the sponges here is to, for one, make a walkthrough aquarium there where main base is at. There underneath everything after I like floor off like a block under the river. And then I'm gonna turn it into like an aquarium, kind of like encase it somewhat, throw in some sea lanterns, make it look all pretty and nice. And then I'm gonna see also into renovating an entire ocean monument. Start with like the highest room possible and then work my way down. And I really want to do it in order to have a secondary main base, because if I can take these great big sponge rooms like this that have massive amounts of sponges in them, or at least as much as they can, and then renovate those guys into like rooms or something, do like a village inside of an ocean monument, then I think that'd be really cool, honestly. It'd be kind of dope. Though I'd have to spawn like a million golems if I ever wanted to do a raid in order to like somewhat protect the villagers for me, since I would think that they'd be outside of the spawn range of the village, and it'd be just super complicated to do a raid since I'd be like out of space and all. But I don't know, it's something I'm thinking about. So yeah. But though, with that being said, I mean, it also would be really fun to do just my own separate thing there as well, and like have a whole bunch of like different auto farms. Maybe have like a chunk loader or whatever it is, where you have a water system with the ender pearl in it bouncing up and down, and then just have it constantly loaded to constantly farm for me. That would be really nice to have it be automated in such a way. But going to day 154, in order to make a creeper farm, or at least the one that I want, I'm gonna need snow for snowmen. And honestly, with what you're about to see going to the next day, it's really embarrassing that I still stay here and take off from this snow-capped mountain peak or whatever, because I find it just the biggest piece of mockery going into day 155 later on that you could possibly think. And getting as much snow as I can here in this small little spot, this little mountaintop, is going to look like absolutely nothing compared to what I'm going to find here soon. But the combat's really, really nice. I do enjoy having these like little bits of combat with like skeletons and whatnot. It's kind of soothing. Kind of sets you back into what you were originally, you know? But this is what I mean, is snow-capped and ice-capped mountains. And the cherry blossom biome there beneath them is also just a really nice touch. I might put a little like small outpost out here one day, but I don't know. And going to day 155 though, we do dig out a lot of the snow. I end up getting like a whole row of snow blocks, and it's really nice because, you know, going into day 156, I do end up having to return, but it's only after I get all of this ice off of the mountain. And I don't even know how to describe what's going to happen here soon, but I'll just have to wait and see, because it's truly is something of its own, and I was really scared I was gonna lose the run, not gonna lie, but as I dig out all this ice going in this direction, I find Mr. Creeper Man here, and he does his usual thing, but yeah. In the moment, I thought I was dead, which would be a really unfortunate way to go, but getting back on day 156, we end up taking a look at how much ice and snow I got. And I end up also stopping by to get some bamboo in order to make some sticks, because I know I'm low on wood and I need to make some more in order to make all the trapdoors. But to do that, I need sticks. And I think I have sticks, but I don't know if I have sticks, so let's grab the bamboo, try to make something of it. Don't know how I got a single piece of ice, but regardless, we got a whole bunch of packed ice and just about a whole row of snow. So now the pumpkins, the carved pumpkins, are super easy. I already have the pumpkin farm. All I do is pop in and grab some, use the shears on them, and go on about our day. Right. So, starting production on the creeper farm going into day 157. We start with kind of roofing in the farm, the auto pumpkin and watermelon farm, but later on we do eventually start somewhat on trying to crack open the top of the Trident farm. But first we know that we need to get more wood in order to make all the trapdoors and buttons and literally everything else in there, like the fences and all that, in order to kind of protect the snowmen from the creepers blowing up on them. And so we kind of start cracking, and I think it was day like 61 or 31 or something like that since I last did a lot of tree cutting. And I'm pretty sure I lost that recording because my drivers were like out of date or something. But yeah, I kind of cut this whole peninsula down, and it's genuinely something really nice for me because I do miss it. But here into day 158, I do a whole bunch of back and forth, trying to do it one way and then changing my mind and doing it a different way. And eventually, I unfortunately had to run out of the rain in order to launch myself back up. And it's super unfortunate, but I just pillar back up with scaffolding and get on top again and just drain it with sponges. But yes, it is super nice to be finally doing this because I don't have any more use for it, the Trident farm, since I also have the double zombie and spider farm down in the mine shaft in that secondary mine. I can just profit off of infinitely both at the same time. And so I'm probably just gonna milk them too for any more rotten flesh or webs or whatever. But yeah, so starting to close it out here and going into day 159. Gotta get back to collecting all that sugar cane. Can't be without it, right? Gotta make some paper trades, gotta make some fireworks eventually, but I will say, finally shearing these like 45 pumpkins I end up getting is really nice. But it's definitely more snowmen than I'm going to need, so. But what can you do sometimes, you know? You gotta take what you can and be happy, right? So finally we do get all separate and made looking right. It's, I think at least it looks pretty nice. But hey, you know what? That's what I think. So finally we do end up cracking the ceiling here on day 159, and ironically enough, I'm gonna end up regretting this. But it's good to help me keep track of where I'm at day-wise. And so, big time, next video though, we're going to be renovating this and turning it into a fully fledged creeper farm. But yeah, I've been really happy with all this and super excited to look forward to the next episode and next time I can record. And I've been really happy with all of it. So, if you want to, you can leave a like if you want. If you don't want to, that's fine. But if you got a recommendation for something, anything I should build going into the next few days, then go ahead and leave a recommendation. I will see what I can do the best I can, and with that, I will say thank you for watching. All I really do yet is finish cracking this and say thank you. So, thank you and goodbye. See you in the next one.